No one talks about this story because it makes almost everyone uncomfortable. A righteous man escapes one of the most infamous judgments in the Bible, only to become part of one of its most disturbing mysteries. A father, 2 daughters, a cave, and one question that has puzzled readers for thousands of years. Did Lot willingly sleep with his daughters, or was something far more complicated happening? The answer is buried in one of the darkest chapters of the Bible. But once you understand the culture, the fear, and the aftermath of the destruction of Sodom, the story becomes far more tragic than scandalous. To understand what happened, we have to start with a city that no longer existed. Lot was the nephew of Abraham. Unlike his uncle, Lot chose to settle near the prosperous cities of the Jordan Valley. At first, it seemed like the perfect decision. The land was fertile, the economy was thriving, and Sodom offered opportunities that wandering as a shepherd never could. But prosperity often comes with hidden dangers. The Bible repeatedly describes Sodom as exceedingly wicked. Its reputation wasn't built overnight. Violence, injustice, and widespread moral corruption had become part of everyday life. Then came the judgment. 2 angels arrived in Sodom, warning Lot that the city was about to be destroyed. They urged him to flee immediately without looking back. As dawn broke, fire and sulfur rained from heaven. Entire cities vanished. Everything Lot had built disappeared in a single day. His house, his neighbors, his possessions, even his wife. As they fled, Lot's wife looked back despite the warning. Instantly, she became a pillar of salt. In one heartbreaking moment, Lot lost the woman who had shared his life. Now, picture the survivors. A grieving father, 2 unmarried daughters, standing alone in a world covered with smoke. But the story gets even stranger. Although the angels had instructed Lot to live in the city of Zoar, he became afraid to stay there. The Bible doesn't explain exactly why. Perhaps he feared another judgment. Perhaps the people distrusted him. Perhaps every familiar place reminded him of unbearable loss. Whatever the reason, Lot abandoned civilization entirely. He and his daughters moved into a cave in the mountains. No relatives, no community, no protection. Just 3 people isolated from the rest of the world. This is where the Bible slows down and records one of history's most controversial conversations. The older daughter tells her younger sister something revealing. "Our father is old, and there is not a man on earth to come into us after the manner of all the earth." Those words have sparked debate for centuries. Did the daughters literally believe every other human being had died? Or did they simply mean there were no suitable men anywhere near them? Remember their perspective. They had just witnessed entire cities consumed by divine fire. Smoke covered the land. Their mother had died. They were living in total isolation. Communication didn't exist the way it does today. There were no messengers arriving every hour to report who was still alive. Their world may have seemed completely destroyed. If they truly believed humanity was on the verge of extinction, their actions, while morally wrong, may have been driven by desperation rather than desire. They proposed an unimaginable plan. They would make their father drunk, sleep with him, and preserve their family line. According to Genesis, they carried out the plan on 2 consecutive nights. The text emphasizes something interesting. Lot did not know when either daughter lay down or got up. Some readers argue this proves he was completely unaware because of intoxication. Others believe he still bore responsibility for becoming drunk both nights. The Bible simply records what happened without attempting to excuse anyone involved, and that's important. One remarkable feature of Scripture is its honesty. It doesn't sanitize the lives of its major characters. Heroes fail, kings commit terrible sins, prophets make disastrous choices. Even people described as righteous are shown with painful flaws. If you're finding this exploration fascinating so far, take a second to like the video and subscribe. It really helps the channel continue uncovering the stories of history and scripture that most people never hear explained in their full context. The consequences of that night stretched far beyond the cave. The older daughter gave birth to a son named Moab. The younger daughter gave birth to Ben-Ami. These weren't just children. They became the ancestors of two nations, the Moabites and the Ammonites. Throughout Israel's history, these neighboring nations frequently came into conflict with God's people. The biblical author intentionally connects their origins to this tragic event, showing how one desperate decision echoed across generations. Yet there's another layer that many people overlook. The Bible never says God commanded this act. It never praises it. It never presents it as a model for anyone to follow. This is descriptive, not prescriptive. Scripture often tells us what happened without suggesting it should have happened. That distinction is crucial. Some skeptics ask why God didn't intervene. The Bible doesn't answer every question we wish it did. But throughout its pages, God repeatedly allows human beings to exercise free will, even when their choices lead to heartbreaking consequences. This story fits that pattern. Others wonder why Lot is later described as righteous in the New Testament. The answer surprises many readers. Righteousness in Scripture doesn't mean sinless perfection. It means someone who trusts God, even while remaining deeply flawed. Lot escaped Sodom by God's mercy, not because he lived a perfect life. And perhaps that's one of the greatest lessons hidden inside this uncomfortable account. The Bible refuses to create flawless heroes because its ultimate focus isn't on perfect people. It's on a perfect God working through imperfect humanity. Lot's story begins with compromise, passes through unimaginable judgment, and ends in tragedy inside a lonely cave. It's a sobering reminder that surviving disaster doesn't automatically heal the wounds left behind. Trauma, fear, grief, and isolation can drive people toward decisions they never would have imagined before everything fell apart. Whether Lot was completely unaware, partially responsible, or something in between remains a subject of debate among scholars and readers alike. The Bible leaves certain details unexplained, perhaps intentionally, but one truth stands out above all. The story isn't included to shock us, it's included to warn us. It reveals the devastating ripple effects of sin, the complexity of human brokenness, and the incredible honesty of the biblical record, one that refuses to hide even the darkest chapters of its own history. Because sometimes the most difficult stories in Scripture are the very ones that reveal the deepest truths about humanity and our desperate need for redemption.